$500 monthly checks for everyone. I have all the details and exactly what you need to know right here in the video. Let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to focus on monthly checks in the amount of $500 ongoing for everyone. I also do want to take some time to talk about some programs that are going on all across the country right now doing exactly this. And lastly, I also do want to talk about something else going on right now you may not have heard about, but this is on the brink of happening that would be a major catalyst for ongoing monthly checks, especially focused on the low income. Let's get into it. We have a lot to talk about here in the video, and it's all going to focus on ongoing monthly checks for everybody or even just the low income. Let's get right into it. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to do yourself a huge favor. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. It's a very busy time, and there's a lot of things going on throughout the course of 2024. Things are happening very quickly right now, and it's all focused on fixed income beneficiaries as well as the low income, and a lot of money is going to be talked about throughout the year of 2024 and basically from now through the end of 2024 as well. A lot of things are happening. I'm here for you no matter what every single day, doing all the research so you don't need to and breaking it all down into these short videos. So if you have not done so, again, make sure to subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. I'll be here for you every single day no matter what as your one and only daily advocate. That's my dedication, my promise, and my commitment to you and everybody here in the community. And as always, I'm sticking to it. So again, thanks for joining me. Please subscribe down below, and let's get into it and talk about ongoing monthly checks, $500, and what are the programs going on all across the country right now? Why is this a key number? And why could this possible number even go up to around $1,400 a month? Now again, let me explain a bunch of different things that are going on. So the reason that I'm talking about $500, because all across the country right now, there are over 100 different guaranteed basic income programs that are happening all across the country, literally right now as we speak, sending out ongoing $500 no strings attached payments to tons and tons of American people all across the country right now. So what does this actually mean? It simply means that this is a concept, this is ideas, this is something that is very popular and proven that is very effective, especially focused on the low income. They have all these different programs going on. Now, let me put this into context really quickly. Back in 2019, so not even that long ago, a few years ago, the whole idea of sending out ongoing monthly checks or guaranteed basic income was a very new concept. Now, obviously, a lot of people knew about this idea, but it had never really been implemented here in the United States until 2019. The very first program here in the United States in Stockton, California, started up. They found it to be very effective, and then they started launching tons of these programs, basically starting in 2020, and then basically up until now, a bunch of these programs have been popping up all across the country. Like I said, well over 100 of them in play, literally right here, right now, sending out ongoing monthly checks, usually in the amount of $500 per person, per month, no strings attached. Spend it however you want, or save it if you just so want to do so. Now again, I want to bring this to your attention really quickly, and then I'm going to get into talking about something that you probably haven't heard about yet, but again, this would be a major catalyst. Now, stick with me. I'm going to talk about that here in just a second, but right now, there are lawmakers in Congress that want to implement $1,200 ongoing monthly checks as well. So again, this idea of guaranteed basic income, especially focused on the low income or even everybody, is a very popular concept right now and something that a lot of lawmakers actually want to implement right away. All right, so let's come back to that here in just a minute, but let me explain to you something right now that is literally on the brink of passing, and this is literally talking about over $16,000 a year of basic income checks going out for an individual and over $27,000 a year for a married couple as a basic income program. In other words, no strings attached, ongoing monthly checks, okay? When I say guaranteed basic income or basic income or any of these lines like this is basically all just referring to the same thing. No strings attached payments on an ongoing monthly basis, usually for a specified period of time. Usually it's a year, 2 years, 5 years, something like this, or indefinitely in some instances. Get this. There's a country very close to the United States. In fact, it's attached to the United States that is doing exactly that. Can you guess? Well, it's only a couple options here. It's Canada. Get this, okay? Let me explain really quickly here. Now, again, obviously, I know we're not in Canada, but seriously, they're right there, okay? They're like right attached to us, so we probably want to pay attention to what they're doing. They are on the brink of passing a guaranteed basic income program in the entire country of Canada that would send out $16,000+ a year to low-income individuals, again, ongoing monthly checks. Now, it's not an exact $16,000. It's actually just under $17,000 is what they want to do. And the reason that they're choosing this number is this is their federal poverty guideline in their country, okay? Obviously, it's a little bit different than the United States, but that is where they've determined as the guideline of poverty in the country of Canada, okay? So that's an individual. Just under $17,000 is what they want to do. Now, next, for a married couple in Canada, it's over $27,000 is what they want to do, okay? Now, again, that is the federal guideline for poverty in the country of Canada as well. Now, why am I talking about Canada when we're here in the United States? Here's why. Do you think that the United States and Canada maybe implement some of the same policies, maybe some of the same spending, maybe allocate some money toward the same programs? You better believe they do, right? They don't do the exact same thing. I completely get it. We're completely different countries. However, they do some of the same stuff. So if this passes in Canada, which it likely will be, it's very, very close to passing. They've gone through the process a couple times here. It's been introduced a number of different times, and they've got it very, very close in this kind of in the final stages of passing here. It has not been done yet, but it is very close and likely going to be passing in Canada. So do you think that maybe will give lawmakers here in the United States a couple little ideas like, hey, look, Canada just did it. They're changing the lives of millions and millions of people in the country of Canada who are living, basically below their guideline of poverty. Gee, maybe we should do something like that, right? Which, by the way, quick side note, the $16,000, almost $17,000 a year is what they're doing in Canada, is over $1,400 a month of basic income checks. Could you imagine that? How nice would that be, right? To get a $1,400 ongoing monthly check forever, or at least for the next few years, as a basic income program if you're low income. Do you think that would be life-changing? Yeah, it would be. It would be massively life-changing. So here's what's interesting. I want to come back to this really quickly here, which is, remember a couple minutes ago I mentioned the $1,200 ongoing monthly check that lawmakers want to pass and that they've introduced in Congress? Well, guess what? Within that piece of legislation, there was language in there that said they wanted to implement and start up hundreds of satellite guaranteed basic income programs. When I say satellite, I basically mean like just dotted all across the country, little programs all over the place to get a little sample size to determine, is it effective? Is it working? Is it helping the people that are taking advantage of the program? Basically just to conduct some studies. They wanted to set up hundreds of these little programs all across the country to gather data, then implement the program. Do you think that any of this is on purpose, as in the over 100 programs that are currently in play right now? Do you think this is maybe a portion of what they're currently working on? I bet it is. Again, I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying, looks a little suspicious if you ask me, right? In a good way. If you're looking for some kind of program like this and what's going on, then obviously this would look like a good thing, right? Now, again, so we've got these little programs, these little guaranteed basic income programs set up all across the country right now that are already sending out ongoing monthly checks, no strings attached, to tons and tons of people all across the country. We have Canada, just to our north, who's doing the exact same thing, but rather than just being a pilot program or just basically a little test program, they're doing it on the official basis. They're saying, hey, forget the test program, let's just do this thing already. And they're doing it on the official basis, as in all the money I talked about a couple minutes ago. Okay, so anyway, when it comes down to it, there's a lot of different things right now that are pointing toward this is likely the future here in the United States. And again, I've been talking about this for a couple years now. I would be 100% shocked if they do not implement a guaranteed basic income program here in the United States, at least at some point within the next handful of years. Why do I think that? Look at it. Look what's going on. Do you think that AI, artificial intelligence, or robotics, or automation has changed the landscape of our economy and workforce in the United States? Yeah, it has in a big way. And it's only going to get worse as this stuff gets more sophisticated, as it gets smarter, as it gets more advanced, things like this. Yeah, it's going to be taking over massive industries. What do you think that's going to do? Well, if a computer is running the show, do you think you need humans to do it? Probably not really. Maybe one person, maybe a small group of people to oversee the whole operation versus hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of people. It could probably all be done robotically or basically automated, right? So there's a lot of things that are happening. It is going to completely disrupt the economy in a massive way. And again, we've heard from a lot of people out there suggesting this is going to lead to, inevitably, a guaranteed basic income for the United States and what's going on here. So anyway, long story short, they're already setting these programs up. They are already in play and more of them coming on. As we speak, they are implementing more of these programs across the country. So I want to bring this to your attention. We need to continue watching all this very closely. And again, these guaranteed basic income programs that are going on right now all over the place generally send out $500 per month, $6,000 a year. That's what that calculates out to be. $500 a month, 12 months out of the year is $6,000 for the year. And usually they're at least 12 months, 24 months, sometimes even 5 years of no strings attached payments. So we got to continue watching this. And again, I want to bring you the details on what's going on in Canada because that's very important. I would continue watching that very closely, and I am going to continue watching that because the deal about that is if it finally passes through, which, like I said, I anticipate it will, based on what I was reading about it, it is like right there. Okay, once they pass this through, you better believe lawmakers here in the United States are going to have their eyes on that, thinking, look at that, look what they just did. Maybe we can do it too, right? So anyway, want to bring this to your attention really quickly. Interesting stuff that's happening out there. And again, I'll continue to watch all this very closely and bring it to your attention as we get more details. So subscribe down below. Leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. If you want to come back and talk about anything or elaborate, I can certainly do that. Otherwise, like the video down below, the thumbs up button, share the video with your friends from your social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel in the video library. Check those out. A lot of great content here, and enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one, and catch you again later.